Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. So this is a little bit more of a developing storyline that has been working its way through my awareness over the last few days post-election. And so hopefully you're down for this. So the initial impact, of course, being disbelief, was filtered through more of seeing in black and white what was being presented to me, right? And then the cognitive dissonance from there. But I gotta say, I don't mind what side of the fence you're on, but if you're for fair and just process, then hear me out. So various things come to my mind as a critical thinker. So the simple math, do you want to do some math with me? So if we take the sum of the number of individuals that have been offended by the U.S. president-elect currently, plus the sum of the individuals that are negatively affected, plus the sum total of the individuals who are naturally never going to go outside of party lines, then you want to say that that is less than the sum total of the individuals that are happily empowering this and that won't go over this lines. I say that with the number of people who weren't on board with that, even individuals from that guy's literal party negatively speaking against, and then the whole fact that this criminal and so on, putting it nicely and bluntly, that he's already openly been engaged in an election interference on multiple levels, right? We can talk about the J6, we can talk about Elon Musk, we can talk about so many avenues and false information. And just to leave it in the briefest of manners, to believe at this time also that the individual who couldn't keep a crowd while somebody else had all this momentum and exponential crowds, to believe for one moment that my eyes didn't see that and only to take in what somebody is telling me as the result, I have a problem with that. And I hate to mimic or mirror what has been said by the other side years ago. But let's be honest, everything this guy accuses anybody of is something that he's literally doing himself. It was that way the first time around with Hillary. It was that way the second time around with Biden. And now it's the same way around with both Biden and then Harris. He continues to do the things that he does, and we can evidence and watch individuals tuning him out and waking up to the atrocity. And then we can believe things like polls that we don't actually see the evidence of. We don't see the paper trail of the poll. We don't see the paper trail of the election, but we can see the people that are and are not buying into it. And then even on my personal social media field, which admittedly is biased, it's relative to my own awareness and resonance. The people that are for the things that just were told to us to be in the majority, those people have a hard time getting more than a few local people that are in their closest clique to engage with their rhetoric. But then you'll see other individuals holding up the flag for other side of things, and the engagement is exponential. So I'm just talking about a little bit of math here, the numbers game, to believe that the unpopular person, worst president, criminal, rapist, etc., just won over the majority of the people that I'm standing alongside of in this situation, when I see how many people are impacted, is nonsense. I've been looking around for content from other people's channels. I'm going to fold these messages back in and we'll get fresh cards so that you guys know I didn't stack anything as if I ever would. Yeah, so just kind of looking around at the different psychics and seeing what they say. And there's a good combination of people that are pretending it isn't happening and those that are advising us to spiritually bypass. And, even coming through my own cards, I've been advised to relax and let things develop. And to me, that feels a bit empty in the moment, because it definitely feels like injustice. And of course, whenever you first lose, it's like the child stomping their foot saying, it's not fair. But I promise you that was my initial, but yes, the tower, the folly here, I am open to hearing or seeing that I am in error here and that others do fall in line and prefer this, but I just can't accept it. So let's just see what the cards have to say. I think that there's a deeper situation playing out here. My cards keep showing me this particular deck that I'll be getting to after this Enchanted Forest. Something about that. Why isn't he celebrating more than he is? The person who feels like he's high on the hog and everything else and so entitled is looking a little bit reserved, if you ask me. I mean, he really seems like and I see this picture in here that keeps coming out with court, expectation, and something else I can't remember right now, but the expectation card is this guy looking out the window. It's like they know they're coming for me any moment. And he keeps coming out views of the ego, him looking at himself in the mirror, and on the other side of the mirror behind it is the prison card. I think that there are a lot of things that we could look at, but being apathetic and accepting of something intolerable is not acceptable for many of us at this point. To ask me to be the bigger person at this point goes against every foundational, instinctual, intuitive aspect of my personality right now. And it's more than triggering, it's activating. And so to expect me to just kind of be like, well, I can see a few things that are coming out now that I can see that I would appreciate right on the other side. And I can see how those people are not necessarily evil, but the approach at this point is unconscionable. So yeah, people are dismissing some important things, I feel. So let's get just a Celtic cross. I want to specifically ask about this U.S. election and just ask if the cards will show me not what I like to see, but please show us the clear and proper winner and the scenario that's developing as we speak. What are we looking at here? We've got the oldest one here coming here in the center with this ancestral force. And what is the oldest one telling us about this? Underneath, we've got the Two of Visions here with the two feminines. Okay, that's too many cards. Cards of both masculine and feminine coming out. What is crossing this? What is happening at this time with this oldest one? We're looking at the election and what's been going on, what just came out. Four of Challenges keeps coming out in this series. So the rest in contemplation and reflection upon what's been going on and being able to see the fruit that's available to you even in the starkest, darkest times. The foundation of this reading is the 10 of Visions. Family dynamics, I feel, and love and heart in the home, harmony. And what is the overall hope and fear here feeding into this reading? We have the 9 of challenges. I think that there's a lot of fear here hiding out, something about being lost in the enchanted forest, the abandonment, neglect, and rejection going on, and how people are so polarized right now on both sides, feeling that they need somebody to come and be a hero or something, or to save the day. Ace of spells under the deck, activating the self, our own inner willpower, our own passion coming to the surface. It's like I'm seeing a lot of previously repressed people jumping out and saying some things, you know. So behind recently, we've got this seeker of visions. I kind of see this as like some kind of Pied Piper-esque type energy. And so the seeker of visions, because of the guy being blonde and stuff, I could kind of see that being him. Under the deck, we have this big bad wolf making friends here with the crone, the feminine crone. So in this case with strength, it's like she's tamed the beast. Let me see, coming in the near future, we've got 5 of spells. So look at the individual wielding his sword from afar, and all of the individuals around him, he's like animating them like puppets here. And he doesn't look bothered either. He's just kind of like, and everybody else is falling around him. It's interesting. So underneath here, the child of spells. Yeah, the master's apprentice playing with the wand, playing with power. What's another indication of the winner? What can you tell me about the truth of the winner? We've got the Ace of Spells coming out again with the sunlight. That's interesting here. Depiction here. Shedding light on something. And the reflection of the collective, the entire cross section, and the populace, the voting populace, and possibly that of the world, but let's keep it to the voting populace here. What is the attitude of the publicized results and the awareness and the awakening that's going on now? How is that hitting folks? The fairy wind, number 7, the chariot. Movement, momentum. Look at that one in the foreground here. To me, there are masculines there too, but it's like a mass exodus. The winds of change. I think that people are motivated. There's a huge storm brewing. The day of elections, the wind was massive, I'll tell you, here where I'm at. Under the deck with that, we do have the lovers. Interesting. So people are on the side of love here, whatever it may look like. And let's get a card of the hopes and fears, the universal influx and attitude about the results right now. Here we have the Black Shook. That's 13. That's death. Something is absolutely transforming, changing. Karma is being called. And here we have the Seeker of Spells. I think somebody's looking for clues because we have the Ace of Spells over here. And then this Seeker is looking for the source of the magic. Let's get some outcome cards here. So these are a little more ambiguous this time around than when I was reading the energy myself. Let's see what's outcome. Okay, we have the Four of Boons. So 4 of Pentacles is some form of denial of abundance. Look at this individual that has too much, turning away the lady with the pie, saying, "Not you, though." Not you. You can't join the party. It's exclusionary, exclusive, leaving people out in the cold here, so close to the home, but unable to come inside. Right? So what else do we have here for the outcome being revealed? What can you tell us about the outcome here? We've now got the Keeper of Spells. Somebody's got some secrets that they're keeping. Does this possibly mean that this person's going to be found out, or that they are going to reveal something here? Outcome. Outcome. What outcomes do you have to show for us here? There we go. And I did receive this one earlier too. The Two of Boons. This guy here kind of juggling, getting, going along his journey and just kind of noticing there's an ogre under the path here. It's like the discovery of something that's been lurking in the dark corners. And this could be us really looking at the way that some people view the allocation of their resources, perhaps, the way that they're looking upon those that are above board, you know, that there's people that believe that everybody is living under bridges like ogre trolls here, and that those above are not real or something. Any further outcome cards? Yeah, we have the Folly coming out again. This is the Tower card. It definitely wants to show itself. In the reading I did earlier, it was crossing the questioner. So yeah, there's some type of tower of lies that's being exposed. So we also had, in earlier reading, we had the Dream Thief, and above we had just this, the Visionary coming out, and then we had the Thief and the Liar. We have two of Visions again coming through with this feminine card. Anything further for the outcome that could clarify this before I move into the other deck? So we have the Child of Visions as well. So this youthful, young female, and the Ace of Challenges underneath with Four of Spells. So there's some type of truth coming in. We're about to get this message. Let's go ahead and switch to the other deck. This deck is the one, I believe it's the Kipper deck, keeps talking about court and so on. So as I have here flipping out, first card out we have is the Good Lady coming out here with the Ancestral Force. What about Four of Challenges? What is crossing this Good Lady card right now? What is crossing the Good Lady? Child playing with toys here. Interesting. Underneath, a short illness. I was taking this earlier as a short invalidation, a short disrespect happening. I feel it's an illusion. Okay, here we have two more coming out. We have a long way, and we have court here happening. So we've been waiting a long time. Some of the sentencing is going to be going on very soon for the J6 stuff, and we'll have to see how that goes down. One of the court person cards keeps showing itself, and in this deck it's depicted in such a way that makes it look a little bit more like Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice, who was actually the one that kind of helped Trump out in his immunity case. So let's see here. I want to put these back and be real intentional with this. Success in love and work and occupation comes under the deck here. Let's get a foundational card here for this 10 of Visions. The family values that are at the foundation for this shows up as gaining a lot of money. So for some, this may be leveraging their vote because they think that things will be more profitable for them and for their money. So both camps believed a different way about that. So it's hard to estimate what that means for us. But in this card, I do see a rat and the devil. And it's as if to say, trading family values for money is at the foundation of this debacle. And we have grief and adversity under the deck with this masculine crying. Interesting, with an angel looking on. So let's go up to the 9 of challenges here. The hopes and fears, 9 of challenges. People were really feeling scared and alone and anxious and overwhelmed. And it looks like there's still a hiding from the forces that they fear are now or were coming. So here we have meetings. I think that people are speaking and talking to each other. I see short illness and gloomy thoughts again. And underneath, rich, good gentleman over here playing chess, being very strategic. And then he's also got some kind of iguana, but I was hearing chameleon, whatever that might be. And the depiction in the background is actually very like the prison card in this deck, I'll just say. Like he's playing games in prison. Wow. So I know some of you are going to say I'm biased, but I'm just trying to ask that the cards reveal themselves. So I think that also there's a big hope amongst many that his private dealings and private meetings will finally be made public and that things will start transpiring and that some type of justice will be served before anything irreversible transpires. Seeker of Visions, this recent development, I'm seeing again with this good gentleman card here. We see somebody having a lot of confidence there. And in the near future coming towards us, this 5 of spells, this little warring type thing here. I've got short illness again with this feminine, this indisposed feminine. And underneath the deck, expectation. There's that card of expectation. I think that I think a lot of us here are feeling that I think I'm going to be sick card. And I'm seeing this as many of the so-called cat ladies and gentlemen in the deck really understanding something needs to be done and something needs to be pointed out. We cannot just keep rolling over and being the bigger person when something unjust is being done to us. Maybe this is our divine cue to stop playing nice in some type of a way. Somebody I used to know used to say you can't negotiate with terrorists. You know, and in the Fifth Element, you know, when Bruce Lee is like, oh, can I handle this? Can I handle this? He goes in and he's like, bam, anybody else want to negotiate? And oh my God, I don't mean that. I absolutely don't mean that literally. Oh, please don't. I shouldn't have referenced that. I suddenly, as soon as it was out of my mouth, I don't mean that. That wouldn't solve anything. That would escalate things absolutely. So no, no war is going to help with love, you know, so please don't. So here we have the Ace of Spells, again with the the winner loss, the activation of the will, lighting a torch, clarifying. We have sad news coming out and the crying feminine. So, yeah, there's a lot of disappointment in this. And I think that, yeah, and we have success and love happening again here. There's sad news, but here we have this mother in the background, the depiction of the mother holding her divine child, and then below that there's like this other picture of, I can't tell if it's like that, if it's an angel, the picture is so small, or that one where it shows the heart that's bleeding. Anyway, there's a mouse at the foot and behind her on the pew as well. I think that we need to recognize that all is never lost. Fairy wind. So this is the collective's opinion. Prison. The collective believes that the best place for this individual is in prison. After court, we'll still give due process. Don't get us wrong. But the majority doesn't believe his place is in a position of power. So how is it possible or probable that he just won when he accuses everybody of what he does, and he's been talking about election interference, and then we literally saw him taking part in election interference. Let's be real. So what is this black shook here? I'm curious about that. What is the divine's insight into this? That perhaps exposing him in this way was the only way to show him and to discredit him quite publicly and make him an example, perhaps. What is this black shook? The black shook is grief and adversity. Shows this gentleman very sad, losing, death of a dream, perhaps. And then we have unexpected money being coming up here. I was getting in yesterday's reading something about monetary interference and perhaps with the children or something else, but then we got this military person that looked like they were from the Middle East. There were some types of pyramids in the background, as well as different symbols. Like I was seeing something like Iranian influencers or something, but I think that there's going to be the discovery of some type of money trail, and there were some secret meetings and money exchanging hands, and that there is more to be seen here at the foundation of this, that he was put into these positions and that he did gain money, which was also an illegal operation here. So I think he's going to be disappointed that this isn't going to stand. I think it's going to be overturned. I do. And I pray. So let's see these outcome cards. What is the outcome that we're looking at here? From the highest, tell us what we can expect. We've got some gloomy thoughts coming in. Number 33, please don't lose yourself in this moment. Even if things are not overturned, all is not lost. We have a false person here that's going to be exposed. Let's take this one as well. Rich, good gentleman here. Having gloomy thoughts, is he? About court. Yep, that one came through earlier. Any other outcome cards? We have this court person I told you about here. Perhaps AOC has actually moved to have him disbarred or impeached himself or something. And I think that he also may have received some money. There's also things that we can look at too, like Justice Cannon. She was also pro-Trump and helped him in something. And if he's elected, she stands to gain a position as, I believe, Attorney General, which is also affects her viability and her bias. Here's the other outcome cards I told you about already. We have a thief, a change, and his thoughts coming out to finish up our reading. So there's definitely been a thievery in the night, a crime, and there's a change coming. So look forward and be at peace that whatever happens, it's coming through. And he knows it. He's looking in the mirror. He's trying to look his best. He's trying to push it forward. But earlier, I kept getting that he was going to take a long journey by boat. And it keeps coming through that he's going to try to just leave the country, which would be fine with me. But here we have great happiness is going to be coming through, as well as high honors. Clearly somebody's going to be coming out smelling like a rose and elevated into the position. I don't know how that would all work out in this case, but yeah. And here we have this expectation of the toil and work done with this military person here I told you about. Somebody expects something to happen. So we're going to have to stay tuned. I know this is unpopular. Some of you may think it's a conspiracy, but I can't help seeing what I see in the cards. So let me know what you think about this. I think it's coming through by the time of the Taurus full moon, but you'll have to let me know. We have court once again, living room, about the time he was in his living room, watching the J6 stuff transpire and inciting the crowd perhaps. I don't even have to make things up to implicate this individual. He's done it all himself. And the fact that we can allow somebody to implicate themselves and then allow them to elevate themselves to power is a critical moment. Living room still on the bottom. And then we have a pleasant letter coming through to the feminine about this. There's great expectation. I think she knows as well. I mean, she's the VP. She's got something else, possibly with the house race coming through or somebody in the house. There's a main person coming through with a bird on the hand here with the military person. So I also see that Elon Musk has been being investigated for his collusions as well. Then we have bereavement happening here. There's definitely something that is going through the death throes in this moment. And I'm here for it. Let's see what happens. The rich girl here coming up next. Unexpected money. I think we're going to see Melania turning as well. Just a false person. I think she is somewhat of a plant. We'll see how she also changes things going forward. So buckle up. Tell me what you thought about this reading. I know it's hard for many, but that's just my